Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Clutch Talk podcast / YouTube / We Do It All. As always, I am your host, John. Very happy to be here. And I know this is not Jay Hizzle, but it's a different face. It's a familiar face. It's my brother. It's my guy. It's Junior, repping the LA land, the La La land. What's going on, my brother? How you doing, man?
Yo, happy to be here, man. I'm super pumped, ready to come on here, do hidden takes. I know, like you said, it's Jay. I know Jay usually runs this, but we had to get a guest out here for this one. So
yes,
I'm excited to be here, man. I'm excited to be on this hidden takes.
Yes, sir. I mean, for all the fans, the fans has been rocking with us for some time now. Y'all know Junior. Junior's a familiar face, man. He's an OG on the pod, man. He's an OG on the pod. Stop playing with him, man. So you know what I'm saying? Like,
put some respect on my name.
Y'all like how John Moran said, put some respect on our name, man. So put some respect on his name, man. Junior's back in the building. Like how we said, Junior, happy to have you. And for the fans, I know y'all might be wondering where Jay Hill is. Jay Hill has something come up, so he couldn't be here for this episode, but do not worry. He'll be back. But like how we always say over here, Junior, we're going to skip the small talk and get straight to the hoop talk. You ready to talk about this hoop talk?
Let's do it.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it, Junior. So first thing that we like to start off every episode with, as you know, is the up or down report. So let's go ahead and kick it off, the up or down report, Junior. So, man, so the Grizzlies right now are on a roll, just cannot be stopped. Okay, right now they're currently on a 10-game winning streak after that impressive win over the Warriors last night. Now, Junior, my question to you is, are you up or are you down on the Grizzlies being able to extend that win streak from 10 to 15? That's 5 games. These next 5 games, they have the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Mavs, the number 1 seed Bulls, the Bucks, and the Nuggets. I know the Nuggets aren't doing as good, but the Nuggets are not a team to be taken lightly. Maybe the Wolves and the Mavs are a little bit, but are you up or are you down on the Grizzlies being able to extend it to a 15-game win streak?
When you say Bulls and Bucks on and they're back-to-back opponents, I don't know if they're back-to-back now. Yeah. They're back-to-back opponents. Like, that's tough, man. But they did beat the Nets. They beat the Lakers. They beat the Warriors.
And then nobody thought they were going to beat the. I mean, a couple episodes, me and Jay Hill, we did this when they were at a 6-game winning streak, and we asked, like, hey, I asked Jay, are you up or down? Do you think they're going to make it to a 10-game winning streak? We both were down on it. So,
all right. I'm going to say because they're already at 10, and I think that they're already pushing where they should be, so I'm going to say they're down. They're not going to get to the 15. And that's not even a hater thing. It's just statistics.
It's just who had the Grizzlies sitting here already? Yeah. Nobody really had the Grizzlies sitting here at this point. So honestly, I'm right there with you, brother. I'm right there on the down because it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to beat a team like the Bulls that's rolling as well. The Bucks, the Bucks are like that's what they're doing right now, especially facing a player like Giannis. I don't think that the Grizzlies are really gonna be have a match for that.
Right, but that like you said, like that's not to take anything away from them. It's just that 10 is already impressive. 15
10 is extremely impressive.
So shout out to the Grizzlies. That jersey behind you, price is going up.
Ja, man, shout out my boy Ja.
The break just went up.
12 for shout out 12 for All-Star, man. 12 for All-Star. So all right then. So Junior, as I said before we got on camera, there is a follow up to this question though. Okay, so like we just talking about the Grizzlies, very impressive right now. They're sitting in the 4th seed, and they're only 1 game behind the number 3 seed Utah Jazz. Now, are you up or are you down on the Memphis Grizzlies finishing above the Utah Jazz by the end of the season? Now that's tough.
That's so tough because honestly, I didn't even have them finishing in the top 4.
Man, me either.
So now it's like they're just playing with house money at this point. But above the Utah Jazz, man, you hit me with 2 tough questions here. I feel like I can answer either way, and then at the end of the season, you could the person could look silly at the end because they're both good teams. They're both good regular season teams. So I am gonna say that I'm gonna say up. I'm gonna say they're gonna finish above. And the reason why I'm gonna say that is because they're young, so they're gonna have a lot of durability. They're gonna be less prone to injuries, and while the Jazz are not necessarily old, I think their average age is older than the Grizzlies. So definitely. I'm gonna say up. You know, it's tough to predict. on paper, I think the Jazz are a better team, but it's tough. There's injuries that are going to factor. There's health and safety protocols. There's so much, extra stuff nowadays that it's tough to kind of predict. So I'm going to say though up, like the Grizzlies will finish above the Jazz. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I'm honestly, surprisingly, I'm actually right there with you. And the reason why I'm right there with you is because, I mean, when we saw when we saw John Morant go down, which is the Grizzlies' best player, they still were able to pull it together as a team. They had an 11-2 record. Now that we see,
super impressive.
Now that we see Rudy Gobert, which I wouldn't say he's the Jazz's best player, but he's a very important player to their team, both their defense and their offense. Now we see him go down. The Jazz are on a 3-game losing streak. So I'm not saying that the Jazz can't turn around and go on a 10-game winning streak and then be 11-3 as well, be 10-3 as well, just like how the Grizzlies were without Ja. But from what I've seen right now, and to answer this question right here and today, I would go with yes, because I think the Grizzlies are going to be able to hold it together whether Ja is there or whether Ja is not, man. And I can't confidently say that about the Jazz. So I'm right there with you on that.
The Jazz are playing the Lake Show next week, so they're not going to go on a win streak.
so they're not going to get a win streak on that one, man.
Yeah, no.
Nothing gets back that gritty Lakers team, man. All right, man. So then let's keep it pushing. Let's talk about the next up or down statement. So the Celtics are really starting to turn things around, man. Right now, they're currently on the 3-game winning streak, sitting at the 10th seed at 21-21. Only 4 games out of that 6th seed, which is that last guaranteed playoff spot. So, Junior, the Celtics have a much better roster than the 10th seed. They have not been having a very good start to the season. But like I said, as they're starting to turn around and get things together, are you up or are you down that the Celtics will be able to make a push and finish at the 6th seed or above the 6th seed? So basically avoiding that play-in situation, because they have a roster that should definitely be expected to do that and more.
Yes. I think they will finish at the 6th seed. I don't think they'll finish above, because the teams that are occupying 1 through 5 are the Bulls, the Nets, the Heat, the Bucks, and the Sixers. All those teams are better than the Celtics. So, I mean, like we said with the Jazz, injuries could happen. Teams could, look at the Lakers.
Yeah.
They're with 7th seed right now. So, injuries can happen. And I think that because of that, I would say the Celtics will finish in the 6th seed, actually. I don't think they'll finish above the 6th seed. Who knows? They might slip to 7th, but they have the roster to be 6th seed. They really do. There's no reason that they shouldn't finish 6th seed. Injuries excluded, of course. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, in my opinion, with their roster, they need to be in the top 5 seeds. But like how you said, they're definitely not beating out Bulls, definitely not beating out Nets, Heat, Bucks, and 76ers. It could happen with the Sixers. Like, honestly, it could happen. I could definitely see it, but it would have to take a lot of Joel Embiid missing a lot of time, in my opinion, for the Celtics to be able to overtake the Sixers at the 5th seed. So yeah,
the thing is, the Sixers are such a volatile team. At any moment, you can wake up to a news that Ben Simmons got traded, and if it's for some scrub, then that's going to be tough. But if it's for a good player, they might even move up from the 5th seed, Yeah,
and I actually even saw a report talking about, like, Daryl Morey's thinking about adding Tobias Harris. Yeah, Tobias Harris. I was like, you're crazy. Why would you do that?
Did you see what Kuz said about that?
What did Kuz say?
I don't have the exact number, but Kuz was like, how are you going to package, like, $180 million? Like, they both got fat contracts, so... It's just like, man, you really got to trade. Like, you got to do like a 16-team trade to get that going.
Yeah, man, to make the money work. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know what I agree with you. The Sixers are extremely volatile. I don't really know what necessarily that they're doing. I don't even know if they know what they're doing out there, man. But yeah, generally, I mean, to answer the question, I think I would have. The Celtics should be in that top 6, but I don't know, my man. There's something inside of me, and the way I've been seeing them play, and especially the way I've been seeing, it's really Jason Tatum iso ball, Jaylen Brown iso ball, Dennis Schroeder.
Smart set too.
Yeah, exactly, right. So and I don't know if that will actually be able to to land a top 6 seed, because I mean top 5 they're not touching. The Cavaliers are playing very well as a team. I know they went down with I know Ricky Rubio went down with the ACL. The Hornets are now on a 4-game winning streak, extremely impressive. The Raptors are rolling. The Wizards, I mean, there's really no excuse for the Celtics to be worse than the Wizards in my opinion. The Wizards did get a lot better. The Cavs, the Cavs and the Hornets make a good argument, at least to me.
I think the Hornets maybe do. I mean, the Cavs, but they're like, the Cavs are a good team. Like, I'm not saying they're not, but I'm saying with the roster the Celtics have, they should be better.
They absolutely should.
Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are stars in the league. You can almost make an argument that Jason Tatum is a superstar in the league.
Absolutely, I think he is a superstar.
Where you draw that line, but the Cavs don't have a single superstar. The Hornets just have
hey, relax, talking to my boy Evan Mobley like that. Relax.
Hold on. Let's give him a couple more years before I say superstar. But he's a stud though. He's a stud for sure. And LaMelo, like I'd say, you could almost make an argument LaMelo's already a star in the league, but a superstar, no. Like LaMelo is not. It's tough to play different positions, but I think. If I could choose, I was gonna say if I could choose him, I'd probably pick Jaylen Brown, but I probably wouldn't. But like right now, right now, I think Jaylen Brown's more of a bucket than
yeah. I'm taking
so much more though. So
yeah, and exactly. I'm taking LaMelo only because on the fact that he's gonna do so much more and be more, in my opinion, be more of a team player. Man, I like Jaylen Brown a lot, and I just think that the way that the Hornets team and the Cavs team have been playing together, I think that will beat out the man-to-man ISO ball that the Celtics.
Little paper.
Exactly, man. I think that they'll be able to pull it together. So all right, man. So then the Celtics they definitely are going to be an interesting team to watch. So then let's get to this.
Celtics are having a really similar situation to the Lakers, but in the East.
Yeah, a disappointing season.
Higher to where they are. Have dealt with some injuries. Have dealt with some struggles on the team, and it's interesting, but.
Yeah, it's honestly.
At least we're not 10 seeds. So. No, I'm kidding.
All right, so then let's get to our last statement here for the up or down report. So the Phoenix Suns just recently took the number 1 seed in the West last night and the number 1 record in the league after beating the Raptors. I know Devin Booker was tripping on that mascot that was all dancing. That was actually no, but that was crazy. No, but okay, I hear you. I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say.
About doubling, bro. Like, come on. Bro.
I know you're gonna say that.
This guy just needs to like, bro. He's such a bucket. Like, bro, just go hoop. Like, stop complaining about.
Man, he was complaining about that big ass blow up doll. He was like, bro, you can't have this. Man, so
he plays in stadiums with like, you went to the fucking finals. Like, dude, you play in stadiums with fans in the background. Like,
that's what I was saying, man. I was like, how is this
bucket too? Like. If it was some scrub complaining, I could be like, yeah, he's a scrub. Like, you know what I mean? And I'm totally kidding, by the way, when I say scrub. Like, these guys are
these guys are all lit, yeah.
But it's Devin Booker, bro. He's like one of the best players in the league.
Absolutely.
Man, shut up and hit your free throws, bro.
So Devin Booker's getting no love and sympathy from Junior over here, man. But so
because I know, it's because I know he's a bucket. I know he can do it. He shouldn't be complaining about this. You know, I'm asking a lot from him because I know he can deliver a lot.
Because you're expecting a lot, exactly. All right.
Because I know he can give me a lot.
Absolutely. I mean, to whom much is given, much is tested. So come on, D Book. So anyway, man. So like we were saying, the Suns took the number 1 record in the league after beating the Raptors last night. And my question to you, brother, is: are you up or are you down in the Phoenix Suns being able to finish the season as the number 1 team in the entire league, not just the West, but just the entire league?
I'm down on that because they just barely passed the Warriors, and the Warriors just got Klay Thompson back. Like, so the Warriors are just getting better. Wiseman, I'm not sure what his timeline is, but that's going to be another improvement. So I don't think that they're going to finish number 1 in the West or in the league just because of the Warriors.
Okay, all right. Well, see, I'm actually I'm also down, but mine isn't as much as the Warriors. Although I think the Warriors are still going to get that number 1 seed in the West. I know I've been riding high on my Bulls, and I'm gonna keep riding high on my Bulls. Man, I think the Bulls are going to continue going, continue rocking, and be able to pull out that number 1 seed in the league. And what's crazy is everybody looked at me crazy at the beginning of the season.
You got him
in the league.
The Warriors too. Okay.
In the league, I got them over. I think the Warriors are going to be able to pull out the number 1 seed in the West, but I think that the Bulls are going to end up being able to pull out the number one seed in the in the entire league overall, man. But it's going to be tough because they got a lot of games postponed early COVID. Like when COVID kind of started picking back up again early in the season. But I think they can do it, man. I've been riding high on the Bulls since the early season. So
I'm gonna making it out the East.
I did.
One of the first episodes we.
I did. I'm telling you, man. The Bulls are legit. The only thing they really lack is a rim protector. I said it on the last episode. The Bulls need to pick up. They should have picked up DeMarcus Cousins, but now they didn't pick up DeMarcus Cousins. They need to go after Christian Wood if the Rockets are willing to do that, man. They need
when did this man become available?
No, the dude just left the game the other day because he got in an argument.
And then came back and balled the next game.
But I mean, his stock's got to be at an all-time low. You go over there to the Rockets locker room, the Rockets GM. You talk to him like, "Look, man, you got this guy acting up over here. I'll take him off your hands. I'll give you a couple of young pieces, and let's do this." Patrick Williams would be a great player, man. But all right then, Jenner. So then let's. That's a cool spot for us to go ahead and wrap up the up or down report. But let's keep it pushing. Let's go to our next segment that we have here, and that's the All-Star segment, man. So a couple episodes ago, me and Jay Hill, we came up with our West and East All-Star starters. So I mean, I think, the All-Star game approaching. We got you on the pod. We want the fans want to hear your opinion. I want to hear your opinion. I want to hear what your West and East starting lineups is sounding like. So I don't know if you got that prepared. I don't know if you want some time to think about it, but go ahead and run off your East and West All-Star starting lineup, and then I can go ahead and run off ours that we have after.
All right. So West, I'm going to tell you, when I put this together, 4 players immediately came to mind. And one slot was the odd man out, but I did include a great player, but just not the first thing that came to my mind. So I'm going to roll off the names that came to my mind. Steph Curry, got to be a starter. John Morant, got to be a starter. What he's doing is incredible in Memphis. LeBron, got to be a starter. I'll say this, call me a homer. He's probably the MVP of the league right now. The man,
the way he's playing. I mean, the man that has
out of his mind.
Out of his mind, dog.
Literally
insane.
You take him out of the Lakers would be probably last in the West. That's literally that's the definition of value.
Most 30-point game in the league at 37 years old. That's crazy, dog.
It's insane. I know. And I'll tell you this. And Jay Hill, he's gonna give me shit when he hears this. Jay, last year when the Warriors were the 8th seed, a lot of people were petitioning for Curry to win MVP, and the Warriors were 8th seed. So I don't want to hear nothing about the Lakers being 7th seed now, and LeBron shouldn't be MVP because the Lakers are 7th seed.
Crown that man. Crown that man.
MVP of the league. Starting for the West, Nikola Jokic, and those are the four names that came to mind immediately. Last one I gotta put is the what is it? The Stifle Tower? Is that what they call it? The
Stifle Tower. my boy Rudy. Yeah.
Yes. Like there's a nickname. I might have butchered it, but Rudy Gobert. I got Rudy Gobert in that slot. I think that he's been having a good season. Always a defensive prowess. So I got him in the starting 5. In the East, first same thing. 4 names came to mind: Embiid, Giannis, Durant. Not even say Durant. Durant's been nuts this season too.
Crazy.
DeMar DeRozan has been insane. So DeMar DeRozan is in there, and then I had to put that man Ice Trae, man.
Ooh.
Ice Trae Young in my starting 5 because he's been cold, bro. He dropped 54 points the other day. So I got to go with that man Ice Trae for the last starting spot. But we'll see because James Harden could have made that guard spot. We'll see how Kyrie Irving is going to be doing it. I don't think he'll probably get enough games. No, I don't think he's going to get enough games to be able to play in the All-Star.
I'll be so annoyed if he becomes an All-Star, honestly.
By the All-Star game, but we all know what that man can do. You know what I mean? Like, he's a freaking bucket. So we know what that man can do, but I don't have him in my starters just yet.
Okay, all right. So
yours, though. I want to hear who you got.
So for the West, we got the same one. We got Curry, Ja, LeBron, Rudy, and Joker. So that's honestly, the West is kind of you can't really go any other way. Like I thought about going Luka in there, but it's just you can't go Luka over Curry or Ja with what they're doing. Yeah. So the West is kind of set.
But you know what you could do though? You could put Luka as a forward. He can play as a forward, and then you could play Jokic as a 5, and take out Gobert.
Yeah. You could do that. You could do that.
Actually, I think I might do that.
You think you'd rather do that? I honestly would rather stick with the lineup of keeping Rudy and Jokic in there.
Probably would, but I mean, Jokic is a center, and so is Gobert. Like, I'm gonna have two centers in my starting five. Like, you don't really play them because it's the All-Star game, and no one's really even playing that hard.
And Jokic is like a point guard too.
Yeah, that is true, man. Jokic is so good. Jokic is a great player.
And then for the East, what we have here is we have James Harden, DeMar DeRozan, Giannis, KD, and Joel. So our only difference,
you got Harden instead of Trae Young. Then.
Yeah, I got Harden instead of, and the crazy thing is, like how you said, there's a lot of great choices. Like, you can go Harden, you can go Trae Young, you can go my boy Zach LaVine. I mean, it honestly, the choices keep running down. You could even honestly. No, that's more of a bench player. I was gonna say Jaylen Brown. He's been having a ridiculous season as well, but that'd be more of a bench player. Yeah. All right. So it was nice to hear your All-Star East and West starting lineup. So then let's get to one of our favorite segments here that we always do, and that's the games, man. I know. Been busy, man. For those of y'all that don't know, man, Junior lives a busy life, man. He's a mechanical engineer, so he don't got all the time in the world, man. Like, you don't got all the time in the world. So I know you didn't get to catch too many games, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk to you a little bit about this Hornets and Bucks game that just happened on Monday, and that was the Hornets beating the Bucks 103-99, man, on the back of Terry Rozier's 27 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 47% from the field, 36% from three, and 87% from the free throw line, getting there 9 times, which is just extremely impressive for a 6'2", 6'3" guard. It just shows
Scary Terry's
for real. Scary Terry.
And when he left the Celtics, a lot of people thought he kind of got overpaid when he went to the Hornets.
But I feel like the reason why he got that they said all that is because that same season they let Kemba walk and then paid Terry, which is like, I wouldn't do that either.
I wouldn't have done that either.
But so that's why, like the stigma was out there, man. But yeah. Terry's definitely been balling recently. And I mean, just to talk about the game, I mean, this was a game of runs, man. It was 20 lead changes throughout the whole game. And at first, the Hornets came out strong and went on an 18-2 run and only allowed 19 points only allowed 19 points for the Bucks in the first quarter, and they ended up outscoring the Bucks 28-19. But like I just said, this was a game of runs. Giannis and Jordan Aurora came out in the second quarter, and they had their own 18-2 run and outscored the Hornets 29-19. So now, heading into the locker room at halftime, the game was tied up right there, and then LaMelo Ball arises out of nowhere after a 5-point first half. He had 17 points just in the third quarter, and Terry Rozier had a 10-point third quarter, which gave the Hornets a comfortable lead heading into the fourth. And then, Junior, that's when the game just got started, man, because Giannis and Chris Middleton just had a ridiculous fourth quarter, both scoring 14 points and getting the Bucks entirely back into this game, right? But right when they did it, they worked hard. They got the Bucks back into this game, and then the Bucks started just honestly folded. They started to collapse, man. In the last 5 minutes, the Bucks had 6 turnovers, man. 6 turnovers, and that right there.
Seen that before.
And that right there, that ends up being the game, man. Yeah. These turnovers is what unfortunately costs the Bucks the game, because
turnovers, especially the unforced ones, they're costly.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And that, like I just said, like that's what ends up costing the Bucks the game, because the Hornets were able to convert on all those turnovers and turn all those turnovers into a bucket, man. And honestly, that's when I started to realize to myself, so I looked at the box score, right? And I mean, we all know as basketball players, we all know the game is not black and white. The game, right. The numbers are not black and white. But I looked at the box score and I saw Chris Middleton, okay? And this is where I have just a genuine question for you, Junior. Chris Middleton, he had a 27-point game, 11 assists, shot 52% from the field, but he had 7 turnovers, and 3 of those turnovers were those 6 late game turnovers, which ended up costing them the game because the Hornets went and converted those into buckets. So my question to you is, yes, he had a good game if you look at the numbers, but if you wouldn't have had those turnovers, they could have won this game. So to you, did he have a good game or did he not have a good game?
I wouldn't say he had a bad game. I would just say when it mattered, he folded. You know what I mean? That's ultimately what these turnovers are. So I wouldn't say he had a good game or a bad game. I think you have to look at the whole picture, and I'd say that's it's fine. It's a passable game, but the thing that's bad is you're going to look at those turnovers a lot more than you're going to look at those points. You're going to look at that,
a lot of turnovers. Percentage.
So ultimately, like I'm not going to jump on here and say, oh, Chris Middleton had an awful game. But a lot of people probably would when they look at it. You know what I mean? And like they will look at it and they're gonna say, "Yeah, like this man didn't come prepared to hoops, or at least not in crunch time." Yeah. So from an analytical eye, no, but from a general perspective, yeah, because he didn't deliver when his team needed him the most.
Okay, yeah, because I honestly was going back and forth about that with myself, man. I was just like, well, I'm watching the game, and he definitely had a huge impact to even keep them in the game, and to even if you take out 27 of them points, man, this game doesn't come down to the wire like how it ended up coming down. But then again, if you take off those turnovers, man,
they might win the game.
They might win the game, man, and especially because
it becomes a wash.
It becomes a wash. He just had a neutral game, so yeah. I mean, Chris Middleton, definitely. I didn't want to get your opinion on that, man, because definitely, like, if you look at the box score, it could look like a great game, but if the numbers aren't always black and white, man. So okay, I just wanted to get your opinion.
When the question was coming, I thought you were going to ask, should the Bucks be looking to move Chris Middleton?
Nah.
Some respect. That's a jam. He was balling in those finals.
He was balling. He was balling. I mean, I've been saying this since last season, dog. Like, Chris Middleton is the closer on that team. Like, Giannis isn't the closer. Like, Giannis is like the best player. Giannis is the most valuable player. Yes, but when you need a bucket at the end, you got to give it to Chris Middleton every single time.
Because he can get his own shot.
Absolutely. Exactly.
But Giannis, every season, he becomes more and more unstoppable. He might be the closer, or he's just going to take it on.
Next year, he's just going to be doing everything. Shit is ridiculous. Yeah. Giannis is crazy. Wow.
Insane. No, he's great. He's great.
All right, man. So then let's get to our last segment that we have here, and that's the red, yellow, or green. I know this is your first time, hearing the segment. I know some of the fans, we've introduced this segment before. Basically, what this is, so we're going to go through the top 10 teams, both in the West and the East, and you're going to tell me how urgently they need to make a move, whether that's roster reconstruction, like waiving somebody, sending somebody down to the G League, buyouts, trades, free agent signings, whatever it is, however it may be. You tell me how urgent they need to do the move. Red means don't do anything. You're good. Just stop where you are. Like, you're in a good position right out the season. Yellow means maybe look to do a move, but be careful.
Move is there.
Yeah. If the right move is there. And green, you got to do something yesterday. So, all right. So let's go ahead and get into this red, yellow, green segment. And the first team we're going to start off with is the Chicago Bulls.
Big red.
Big red.
I have so you guys have done the segment, and I've heard Jay Hill actually say this, but it's also same mentality. It's working. Don't mess with it. Don't mess with it. You know what I mean? Like, it's I know you said they need to get a rim protector, so maybe if you want to make it a yellow, but that would have to be the perfect opportunity, because you couldn't pull out, you could trade a role player and end up domino affecting the whole team.
Absolutely.
So I say they're first in the East for a reason. Don't mess with it. That's what I would do.
Okay, man. Honestly, I really want to go green, but I'm a little bit more on the yellow side than the green, only because I know how much that they are going to suffer in the rim protection, and when it comes to playoffs, when the game gets a lot slower.
Green though, that's like ASAP make a move yesterday.
No. I'm more. Oh, sorry, not green. I'm sorry, red. I'm sorry. Instead of red, I'm more on the yellow side, and the yellow side meaning, like, if the right move is there, definitely look to make it. But you say that if you pluck out a role player, that could domino effect, and I'm right there with you. I definitely agree that it could, but if they're for certain players in the league, like a Miles Turner, I'm willing to risk it, man. I'm willing to risk it, to be honest, because I know how much they really need that rim protection, man. Come playoffs, when a game gets a lot smaller, I don't think Vooch is going to be able to handle the Giannis's. I don't think Vooch is going to. Giannis is, man,
slow roasting him in the.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're going to slow roast him, and like, Vooch doesn't have the foot speed to keep up with Giannis on the outside. Doesn't have the strength to keep up with Giannis on the inside. I don't know if he has the foot speed to keep up with Joel on the outside, and definitely doesn't have the strength to keep up with Joel on the inside. I mean, you have to be looking to beat those teams if you want to be a championship team.
For sure.
Oh,
No,
all right.
They need rim protection. They got my number.
they got Junior's number, man. But all right, so then let's go.
I do hear you though. I do hear you. Like I was also between red and yellow, but the only reason I stick with red is just because they're first in the East. You know?
Yeah.
Like, don't mess with it. But you're right though. Playoffs is a different game.
Yeah, absolutely.
And side note, that applies to the Memphis Grizzlies. So side note, we can get into it another time. But.
All right, so the number 2 seed, Brooklyn Nets.
The Kyrie situation is difficult because now he's finally coming back.
But only for away games.
Only for away games. And then this is what we were saying earlier too. If who knows, by the way, the finals are going to be in 5 months, 6 months. So there's a lot of things that can change by then. But if the finals right now were played against a team in California, Kyrie's not playing the finals at all.
Man.
He's not playing the home games or the away games.
Man.
You know what I mean? So that's huge. At that point, yeah, you definitely got to make a move. You know,
but the trade deadline's passed by then. So if you're Sean Marks, you're the GM.
Right. Here's what I'm gonna say. By the trade deadline, I'm putting them as a yellow. Okay.
Yellow.
If the right move shows up, you make it, and even if that means moving Kyrie Irving, because Kyrie Irving's a great player. I was gonna say what's half of Kyrie Irving? Half of Kyrie Irving is still a pretty good player, but still, you still got half of your team. You're gonna break up continuity, especially in a series. Think about it in a series. Oh, let's say you're at home. You split the 2 games at home. Now you got to go without your arguably second or third best. No, probably third best player. I think Harden's got him beat, but your third best player. But his third best player was a baller, by the way. Like you got 3 max contracts, and that's one of them.
Yeah,
you got to go without him to go. Now you split the games at home. And you got to go away and not have Kyrie Irving. That's tough, man. It's almost best if you could just get somebody who maybe isn't as good, but is going to be there every game. You know. So I say a yellow. If the perfect move shows up, do it. But because they're already pretty high in the seedings as well, I don't think they're desperate to make a move. You know, they're not at a green just yet. But I think if the right move shows up, they should be open to it. So I put them as a yellow.
Okay, I'm leaning a little bit, and I definitely agree with everything that you got to say. But I'm realistically leaning a bit more on the red side, only because they're what they're doing is working, and because like how you said, like you're not even gonna get freaking nickels on the dollar for Kyrie Irving. Like you're gonna get pennies on the dollar for Kyrie Irving because people know his drama, know his situation, and also I don't think that I just like the Ben Simmons situation. Like what team is just gonna be like, yeah, here I'll give you something of value to get half a player back, a player that could be back or could not be back, or could play at certain cities or could not play in certain cities.
All right, so what about John Wall for Kyrie Irving? Is that help?
I don't even know if I'm doing that, honestly.
If you're who?
If I'm the Rockets, I don't know if I'm doing that.
You don't know but John Wall's not playing. That's out. It's just to develop rookies. You're not picking up Kyrie Irving.
I mean that's a spot you're gonna kind of just waste away, bro. I mean, if they're doing this with John Wall, it's not like you bring Kyrie Irving
is much better player than John Wall.
Yes, but you bring Kyrie Irving to Houston, they're still the last seed. They're still the last seed in the NBA, in my opinion. That doesn't take them to like not even the 10th seed, not even a play-in team in my situation, in my opinion. Kyrie, so you bring Kyrie there, you're just taking the spot away from the youngins. You're not going to get any better. You're not realistically going to get any better to the point where now you're like competing, maybe in for at least a play-in spot. So in my opinion,
yeah, but on the other hand, you could also look at it as, I mean, I don't know. I guess you could really go down a rabbit hole and say they're going to be the worst team with or without Kyrie Irving, but John Wall's not getting any play. Get Kyrie Irving. Let's see what happens with COVID a year or 2 from now. Trade Kyrie Irving for somebody who could be useful for you.
Yeah. I mean, you could flip them. Yeah, you could flip them. That would be more of a long-term play, but you could absolutely flip him.
But if you're going to be 15th anyway, you might. And John Wall's not a very tradable asset most of the time, except for now.
Yeah,
but like now he'd be a huge asset for the Nets, I think, because he'll be able to actually play the games.
Absolutely.
So Yeah, but he's not. I mean, he's not touching Kyrie Irving right now. I mean, not even in his prime.
Not even in his prime. Nah,
but the reason I was going to throw that caveat in there is because John Wall in his prime was nice.
He was nice.
He just wasn't. He wasn't Kyrie Irving for sure.
Yeah, but all right, man. So
I don't know. I think I would do that.
So okay. So you got Brooklyn more on the yellow. Okay, all right. And then let's talk about the Miami Heat.
Dude, that's tough. That's tough.
Really?
I think they're yellow too. I think if the right move shows up, you go for it. But if not, I think they have a solid team, and I think they can make a serious run. But it's just like you could maybe tweak it here and there. It's a very fine line. It's like with the Bulls. It's a very fine line between making tweaks that you think can make your team better, or getting greedy and just picking up players and that don't fit, but they're good players, and it ends up becoming a mess. So I'd say they're yellow. If the perfect situation shows up, you go for it. Otherwise, you don't. But you seem like you didn't agree with yellow. Which one are you going towards?
I'm red. I'm red hot. Heat, man. I'm red hot because I don't think they need to make any moves. I think that they made the best move of the offseason bringing Kyle Lowry in.
So let me ask you this then.
The only move they need to make is have Jimmy and Bam play more games.
You have the Bulls winning. You have the Bulls being the number 1 seed in the NBA.
Yeah.
So that means that you must have the Heat at least second. So where do you have them? Second, third?
The Heat are my 3rd seed.
So they're your 3rd seed. So don't you think that if the opportunity to get better shows up, I think the only red teams really should be the Bulls, the Warriors, maybe the Suns. And I think that's it. I think everybody else needs to look at getting better.
But then again, that same thing that you said, talk about picking out a player, picking out a role player, and having that domino affect the entire team. Like that Heat team, they got literally everything they need. They got a point guard and a playmaker in Kyle Lowry. They got just a bucket getter in Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero off the bench in Victor Oladipo when he comes back. They got Bam, a perimeter defender, and can definitely guard the rim as well. Not the greatest. The biggest move that the Heat would realistically be looking to improve on is, I guess, get like a real big rim protection, but again, like I don't think that at that, like, you need that too much to the point where you're willing to risk this amazing team, this amazing chemistry and role that you're on for the Heat.
I mean, it'd have to be the perfect move, but I do see what you mean, though. I agree. I think that they're like right at that red yellow. I think they're more yellow than the Bulls are, but I do see it's tread carefully with them.
Okay. All right. So then what about the Bucks?
I almost said red, but is it though? I think I'm going to say they're also like the Heat. Perfect move shows up, you make it. Otherwise, we saw they tried adding DeMarcus Cousins to that roster, but it apparently didn't work out. At least they don't think it worked out because he's not there anymore.
Yeah.
But I think if the perfect move shows up, you make it. Otherwise, you just have to keep rocking because they're still a very good team.
Yeah,
and they're the defending champs.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, they're defending champs because KD wears a size 14 shoe and stepped on the line. That's nuts. That's so KD wears a size 14 shoe. That's the reason why they're champs. But freaking nuts. but I'm right there. I'm
insane.
That is crazy.
The man's foot is
the reason why they're not champions.
Now Giannis is what, like under when I think he was 26 or 27 last year when he won. Mm-hmm. So then he was like 26, 27, and he had like MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Finals MVP, champion, all because KD was stepping on the line. That's crazy.
That is crazy, yeah. But all right. So for the Bucks, yeah, I'm more right there. I'm really right there with you as well. That like red and yellow. But I just want, the only reason why I want to lean a little bit more on the yellow side, like how you were, is only because like they let go so many great role. Well, not so many. PJ Tucker. They let go of PJ Tucker. But he guarded Kevin Durant the entire series. You know what I'm saying? Like he guarded Kevin Durant the entire series, and then they let him go, and they ended up getting Semi Ojeleye, and like Semi Ojeleye is a good player, and he's the prototype of a PJ Tucker, but he's not PJ Tucker. You know what I'm saying? Like so that definitely is like that's like getting like That's like trying to get Stephen Curry, but getting Trae Young. You're getting a good player, you know what I'm saying? But you're definitely not getting the guy that player's trying to emulate. That you actually want to have. Yeah, absolutely.
The dollar store version.
So yeah, I'm right there with you on the yellow, just because if they can add a dog role player, which at this point no team is gonna get let go of, you do it. But if not, you just
it
don't.
Has to be the perfect situation.
You just don't mess with it.
And really, the perfect situation really isn't out there very much. Like maybe it's pillaging the Pacers team, and they're probably the only people who are willing to let go of players that are good outside of Ben Simmons, but like and Kyrie. Oh, I don't. Kyrie's not on the trade block, but Ben Simmons is. So outside of Ben Simmons and the Pacers, there really isn't a lot of players that can actively, immediately contribute to a team. Russell Westbrook, by the way, if literally anybody.
All right, man. So then let's talk about the 5th seed Philadelphia 76ers. Red, yellow, green.
They're green.
They gotta be a green. They gotta
get this Ben Simmons situation figured out.
Yeah,
because
they got that's long. That's honestly.
That man racked up $10 million in fines and he doesn't even care.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's money gold.
That's flexing.
All right. With the fines, but that's green. They're green. Bro. They gotta make some moves because Embiid is not that he's like leaving his prime or anything, but like Embiid.
How long does he have in his prime? Yeah.
Yeah, I know, and he's an injury-prone player. Like that's just a fact. It's the same thing. Like Anthony Davis is an injury-prone player too. Like there's just some players are injury-prone.
Absolutely.
Neymar's an injury-prone player. That's my favorite soccer player. Like,
Shout out Neymar, man. Shout out Neymar.
But yeah, he's an injury-prone player, and he's out there fighting for his life, putting up like 35 and 15 every game.
Man,
he's the 5th seed. You know what I mean? Like,
and then texting Ben Simmons like, "Bro, are you coming back or not?"
Yeah, no, seriously, right. They definitely got that. They're green because they got to optimize and be while they can.
All right, and what about the Cavs? Red, yellow, or green?
Oh, they're yellow, but they're like green yellow. Can you imagine getting a solid veteran for Evan Mobley?
For Evan Mobley?
No. Like,
I thought you said. Okay.
No, not.
I get what you're saying. Like to train Evan Mobley and be there with him, build him up. I thought you were saying trade him.
No, getting him like for Evan Mobley's purpose. Okay. Like you getting him to mentor Evan Mobley.
Okay. Yeah.
And all the youngest. I mean, the team is young, so if you can get a solid vet in there, I mean, you can get Rondo, but Rondo's just going to teach him how to stick Chris Paul, and that's it. So I think that I think if they can get a solid vet or a solid like a star in there, I would do it. But because they kind of got a thing going on, and you don't
definitely got something going on.
So that's why I said they're in that yellow, but instead of being yellow red, they're yellow green. So it's just like doesn't have to be the perfect move that shows up. But could be if a good move shows up, I think they should be looking to take it.
Okay, I'm more on the yellow side. And I'd actually be leaning a little bit more towards the other side, which is red, yellow, and that's only because there's just no way you, me, or any of us. As a matter of fact, I think I had the Cavs in the last seed or the second to last seed at our preseason rankings. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's not like I'm not watching these games. Like, no, nobody expected this. There's not nobody can tell me that, like, hey, coming into the season, they had the Cavs sitting in the top 6 seed and not having to play in the play-in.
Let me ask you something. The Hawks made a good run on the playoffs last year. Mm-hmm. Okay. They had a superstar. You take Trae Young out of that roster, and are they really as good as the Cavs? Like, so I'm
saying,
Hawks? Like, the Hawks.
Hell yeah. Year,
I think that, like,
hell yeah.
A Trae Youngless Hawks are as good as the Cavs right now.
Yeah, I would put him as...
If you put Trae Young on the Cavs, you don't think they'd be better than the Hawks are right now?
Nah.
I think they would.
I don't know, man. John Collins and Clint Capella is a really big reason why Trae Young has almost all of his success, because you have to respect the lob. You have to respect the roll.
He actually leads the league. So Young to Capella is like the first most like pass to score. Yeah, like, but I'm not just lobs. I think like assists to score from between two players. Like the connection. I think Young to Capella has generated the most points, and then Young to Collins is like the third most points.
Yeah, like their pick and roll game is insane, dog.
For sure. But I don't know. I guess where I was going with that is the Hawks made a good run in the playoffs last year. The Cavs have a young team that's sitting in the 6th seed. If they can get a star in there, who knows? Maybe they make a decent run. Not saying they're going to win, especially because the East is actually pretty good this year. But maybe they can make a run. Maybe they can make some noise and and upset a seed, upset one. I mean, there's four legitimate title contenders in the East.
Absolutely.
Right? And I think that,
which is crazy.
You can even make an argument that depending who Philadelphia gets, they might be the 5th. But because they were last year, they were a title contender last year. So there's 4 title contenders in the East. What I'm trying to say is everybody's going to play all these 4 teams are probably going to play the lower seeded teams, and somebody has a chance of getting upset there. And I think that's a legitimate chance. Like the
Cavs upset somebody.
The Hawks made the run that they made last year. I guess all I'm trying to say is here, I don't see the Cavs. I don't see why the Cavs wouldn't be able to with a superstar player. So that's why I was yellow-green. These youngins got them sitting in the 6th seed. Give them a superstar and help them get a little push. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then instead of being 6th seed, what if they find stumble their way into a 4th seed? Look at the Suns. Like I'm not going to discredit the Suns at all. I already did that last year. I'm just kidding now. But like, I'd be lying if I told you that they didn't have a fortuitous run to the final. That would just be BS.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows that.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they didn't deserve it.
But everyone has luck. Every run to the final.
Yeah, they had a fortunate run to the final. They played injured teams. What if I'm not saying the Cavs are going to do it, but hey, some dominoes start to fall their way, and you have a star in there. You can get to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's all I'm saying.
Whoa! Cavs to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Couple things fall their way. I think they could get to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, I mean,
with a superstar, with this team.
I'm not looking at you crazy because I didn't have them sitting in the 6th seed. So, all right, I respect that.
That's what I'm saying. That's why you trade for a star.
Okay, so get a star.
Westbrook. I got
Evan Mobley for Russell Westbrook. Cool. All right.
So first round pick while you're at it.
so then let's keep it pushing. Let's talk about the Charlotte Hornets. The red, yellow, or green.
Charlotte Hornets. They're 7th right now?
Yeah, 7th seed.
As of the making of this pod, they're 7th seed. I'm going to say that they are. I'm going to say they're yellow-green as well. I'm going to say they're in the same situation as the Cavs. Actually, maybe even more so because LaMelo can ball. That's actually no pun intended.
So can Miles Bridges. Oh, I get it. but so can Miles Bridges, Terry Rozier, and PJ.
And you know who else could ball, but they don't have him anymore? Malik Monk. So I'm gonna say the Cavs actually even more the Hornets even more so than the Cavs actually. I feel like you drop a superstar in Cleveland, you drop him more in Charlotte. The Hornets are, I think, going to be able to make more. I mean, it depends. If it's a freaking point guard, then no, it becomes redundant. But if you're talking about perfect fit superstar, I think the Hornets actually do more with it than the Cavs would. So everything I just said about the Cavs applied to the Hornets. And that's why I have them yellow-green. Still applies to the Cavs, but on a bigger scale, it applies to the Hornets. So I have them yellow-green, but more towards green than yellow, I think. Make the move. Yeah. You're sitting in 7th. You're sitting in the 7th seed. You're going to be – and it's obviously they're not going to trade LaMelo Ball. They're not going to trade Miles Bridges. They're not going to trade anybody of value. So that's a messed up thing to say. We know what you're saying. We know what you're saying. I mean? Yeah, we know what you're saying. You're not going to trade anybody that's going to immediately hurt them, or it could be dangerous trades. So make that move. I'd put them yellow green, more towards green. Okay,
I'm actually like 100% on green, and only because their backcourt is scary good. Terry Rozier, I don't know if you could really rely on him to try to be like a deep playoff push, 2-guard or a 1-guard. LaMelo, I mean, he's young right now. He's going to make these mistakes. I'm okay with it because he's just going to be a freaking superstar, and he's just going to be like the guy. But what's the problem on that team is the front court. Mason Plumlee, and I like PJ a lot, but PJ is not going to be a front court player for me. He's not going to be not even a freaking Eastern Conference semifinals. And Mason Plumlee is not a playoff center. He's just not a playoff center. I was watching them play the Bucks just on Monday. I was just the game I was just talking about. Bobby Portis was giving it to Mason Plumlee. No disrespect to Bobby Portis, but I mean, Bobby Portis should not be giving it to you if you're a starting caliber center in a team that's trying to make a playoff push. I mean, even if you're a Hornets fan, you're like, they're not trying to make a playoff push. They're just trying to be a play-in team. Even if you're a play-in team, Mason Plumlee he's riding the line of you're not even good enough to be a playoff big. Yeah. So I definitely would have Yellow. You need to make a move. Do not let LaMelo and this young team go to waste.
Yeah, I said yellow green, but you convinced me. They should be all the way green.
Yeah, all the way green. Let's get a big guy in there. All right. So what about the Raptors?
Green if it means sending Gary Trent Jr. to the Lakers. Yeah. Crazy. No, I'm kidding. Dude, I don't know, man. It's like they should make a move, but I don't know what move they can make that would actually put them in contention for a title. And then they're gonna maybe be stuck in no man's land, and they're gonna make the playoffs, but then get bounced in the first round and not get a good draft pick. And it's a snowball effect. So I'm gonna say yellow. Here's why. I'm gonna say yellow. Like they definitely need the help a lot more than the Cavs and a lot more than the Hornets. But the thing is what I just said. If it's not the perfect move that's actually gonna make them relevant or good, what are you really getting out of that, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Or go trade for some young players so you can have a real solid team 3, 4, 5 years from now. But that's what I'm saying. That would be the perfect move. I don't think they should just be accepting any trade at this point. They got to be really careful because it's a very slippery slope, and they can end up in that no man's land area, and then they'll just be like, let me think who's been
the Blazers,
Kings, dude.
Actually,
they've been sucking.
The Kings are in hell. the Blazers they're in no man's land. They're like you could get out, you could maybe not get out. The Kings are
a perfect example.
Yeah, the Blazers have been stuck there for hell.
And I will go on the pod and say this, and I said this probably like 6 or 7 years ago. That Damian Lillard is not winning a ring in Portland. I know you remember me saying that.
I do remember that.
Like so long ago, way before this happened. Like now people are be like, yeah, duh. But like 6 years ago, they're like, nah, they're the next team up. Like, nah, they need a lot more than this. And it's just it's difficult. It's really freaking hard to win a title. So like you can't be stuck in no man's land, because the second you do, you're not getting picks, and you're not getting you're not making your team better. So you end up being stuck in the situation where it's like, yeah, you have a good team, but what good is going to the second round? I mean, I know they went to the Eastern Conference Finals a couple years ago, but
they
didn't win it.
So all right, man. So let's talk about the Washington Wizards, the 9th seed.
Dude, they're green because you need to do whatever you can to keep Bradley Beal there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So they're green.
Absolutely.
Green. Like,
I'm right there with you. This is not much.
And Kuzma's been balling too, bro. Like, get Kuz some help.
Get Kuz some help. I never thought I'd be saying that. But
there's some pieces that you can make something like Montrezl Harrell started out before he went off on KCP. He had a very good start to the season. So Montrezl Harrell looked like he was finding his footing. He's slowed down since, but who knows? Maybe you can tap into that again. Beal, I don't even need to say anything else. I think it's KCP. I will stand on this. I'm sorry. Let me just stop real quick. KCP, bro. I defend KCP. You know that. KCP is a starting caliber guard on most teams in the league, and I think that and he can also play the 3. So I think that they need to find a way to just really utilize him or move him for something that they can utilize better. So you got to keep Bradley Beal, bro, because they're holding on to Bradley Beal by the skin of their teeth.
Honestly, they're lucky Bradley Beal's been so patient.
Bro. Yeah, that man's got he's been so type patience.
So patient. Like he's just been crazy patient. So for that alone, like every day needs to be like, they owe him. They owe him to do something, whether to send him to a contender or I mean, from we're talking about their team's sake, man, get some help, get Bradley Beal. Yeah, I'm right there. Sure. So then let's talk about the last seed in the East, which is the 10th seed here, and that's the Boston Celtics.
They're green.
Yeah,
they're green.
They're
because
green.
they need to get it figured out, because they shouldn't be a 10th seed. And if it's going to be through making trades, not necessarily player trades, personnel trades too. Mm-hmm. You know, like I feel like if they need to change something up, and it probably involves sending Jason Tatum to the Lakers.
Man, Jenner's out here trying to recruit.
I'm gonna stop.
Jenner's out here trying to recruit.
But you know, I get.
I know it's jokes. I know.
Jason Tatum, I could resist because you know that man's destined to be like. But
JT.
I'm totally kidding. I think they do need to make a move though because they got a roster better than the 10th seed,
Absolutely.
and like I said, I feel like they have an analogous situation to the Lakers, and the Lakers are definitely green. So I think that the Celtics are green as well. Make that move. Yeah, go take that because honestly,
don't lose Tatum.
Don't lose Tatum. You know what I mean?
Don't lose Tatum because Jaylen Brown doesn't like. To be real with you, doesn't really have as initiative to go anywhere. We talk about it all the time. Bradley Beal, Jason Tatum, there's no way they're texting each other like, bro, I hate this, bro, I hate my situation. And they're like, bro, let's team up. You know what I'm saying? Let's team up. They're homies. Bradley Beal used to babysit Jason Tatum growing up. So crazy. Come on, man. I mean, the Celtics need to save their franchise player and make a move and be a contender.
Green. Oh, one of the most green teams in the league.
LOL. All right, so
literally.
But all right, so then let's jump to the West and let's start by the number 1 seed, Phoenix Suns.
Dude, I think they're red. They're
doing they gotta be red.
It's working. It's
gotta be red. Yeah. What about? I'm right there with you. What about the Warriors?
Red too, dude. They're getting better. Even
they're green, but they're getting better with the green. What? Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with you. Yeah, they're
the only
red.
green moves they need to do is recall James Wiseman from the Santa Cruz Warriors. That's the only move they should.
That's the only move. Yeah, man. I'm right there with you. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So then let's keep it pushing and let's talk about the number 3 seed, Utah Jazz. Damn, you got to think about it like that.
I do.
Damn.
And at first I said green. I'm gonna still say green.
Damn, what?
I'm gonna still say green. You know why? Because like, who are they gonna get? Like let's think about it.
Exactly.
Who? So green.
So red. So
red.
Because
red. My bad.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
Okay, I feel you.
I was like, who are they gonna get? There's nobody. Their big game is good. They have Rudy Gobert. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like
they got a good team.
They're not going to be able to exactly. They're not going to be able to get anybody that I think will significantly improve their team without losing a piece that's a core piece of the team. So I think they're red. And I might have said green for the Suns or for the Warriors, but like
both green,
red.
Yeah, the Suns, Warriors, Jazz, all red.
Jazz don't make any moves.
Yeah, you can't move that. All right, so then,
and also, you know who else is a red?
Who?
The Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh, yes.
They're red. They're red because on paper they shouldn't be here. They really should. On paper they should not be where they are.
Yes.
But they are where they are. Don't mess with it.
So don't touch it. Absolutely.
It's working. Don't mess with it. Like so, and I said the Grizzlies because you're gonna ask me next to their 4th seed.
Yeah.
Don't mess with it. Like
don't mess with it.
I'm red for
sure.
The
like, top 4 seeds in the West are red. And then let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks. Red, yellow, or green.
That's a yellow green to me. Like
green.
I think they should be making moves, bro. Luka is not from this world, brother.
Man,
they need to get him something better. I know KP's gotten better, but what's KP's ceiling? You know what I mean? Like,
no, I hear you.
I'm thinking that they could be better if they had Domantas Sabonis. I'm thinking they'd be better
if they had practically anybody besides KP. Like I know I like KP's been playing a lot better, and I'm surprised you're saying yellow, green. I'm saying 100% green. I'm probably saying 100% green. Like how you're saying, Luka, the dog is out of his mind, dog. Like he's the closest thing to LeBron that we've seen, like young talent doing it all, like can legitimately do a little bit of everything on the court. Maybe he doesn't have the same athleticism and explosive that LeBron has, but he has like different assets and facets of the game that makes him.
He's not an explosive player.
Yeah, it makes him this great player. And in the same situation, like the Portland Trailblazers with Dame. The Portland Trailblazers got very lucky. Dame Lillard is a very loyal guy, stuck with them, but they could have lost him because they didn't make it. They weren't aggressive enough. They didn't try to give him a championship team. They didn't try to give him good players. And the Mavs could lose Luka if they don't seriously try to do something. Seriously.
I think that honestly, that's why I was saying green. And I said yellow, green just because they're the fifth seed, but really it should be all the way green. Luka needs to really actually be able to. Luka needs to like get somebody that can really maximize being next.
Any honestly, I say this because like the type of player Luka needs to be with is like a pick and roll big that could shoot. I think John Collins would be amazing. I think Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, but he's not available though.
Yeah, I'm just saying like those type of players would be the just the greatest players to match up.
What if they got Ben Simmons?
I definitely like Ben Simmons, but I don't know.
Then he's going to be forced to play as a 4 because he's not going to be the primary ball handler.
That is true.
And who knows? Maybe that's going to be when he becomes nice because a 4 is not really a great 4. No, here's what I'll say: to be a 4 or a 5, you don't have to shoot to be good. But if you shoot, you're very good, or you become an exceptional piece. But you don't need to shoot, and that's going to help.
You at least need to have that mid range. You at least you can't be like a I can't shoot at all type situation because then it's just going to turn into a Ben Simmons because then you can just load up the other side and double somebody else and just like you have to at least have a mid range in my opinion. I agree with what you're saying. The only line I want to like push back on is you at least have to have a respectable jumper to where the team has to at least respect you and be out there. You know what I'm saying? Like Giannis isn't a great shooter, but you're not leaving Giannis open the whole game.
I know.
You're getting out there. Okay. All right. So I'm right there with you. The Mavs definitely need to do something. So then let's talk about the Denver Nuggets.
It's tough because look, I want to say that they should be making moves, but they're not bad because they're injured. And plus, like they can't even trade.
They have a good team.
Yeah, they have a great.
They have a good team. There's
MPJ, Murray, Jokic. Like they have a solid team. So I'm gonna say yellow for them because the reason they're doing bad is not because their team is bad. Like if they were healthy, they'd probably be second or third seed.
I'm right there with you. Yeah, so I'm so that's red. I mean, you don't want to just the this year was not meant for you to do good. This year was not meant for you to win. Call this year a wash. It is, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like it wasn't meant for you to do good. It wasn't meant for you to win. Just call it a wash. Call it. It is what it is. We lost MPJ. We lost Jamal Murray. Let's just get him back next season. I wouldn't even bring him back this season. Even if they can come back this season, I wouldn't even bring him back. Let him rest
completely
finish it up. I mean, you're not gonna do anything. You're just not gonna do anything with a Jamal Murray returning, and now you got to learn how to play with the point guard. A point guard who is the extension of a coach on the court. They got to play a whole different playing style than you were just playing. Man, so
let me ask you though. Do you think the Nuggets, a healthy Nuggets team, could be a healthy Jazz team? You would agree, right? In a seven game series.
Yeah. Okay. It's a tough series.
Let's say that the Jazz and the Nuggets end up upsetting whoever they play in the first round. They got a second round matchup against the Jazz, and they have an opportunity to bring back Jamal Murray and MPJ. I'm doing that because I'm thinking at that point, you're like, man, we might be able to get a trip to the conference finals if we could just beat the Jazz. Like, not to downplay the Jazz, but I do think the Nuggets have a better team. So I'm not saying I'm definitely packing it up the season. I say we have to kind of measure the waters every few months. You know.
Okay.
I'd say. I mean, right now it's out of the question, but who knows? Maybe they end up getting a good matchup. You know, I could see. You know, that 4th and 5th seed, they play each other, right?
Yeah, 4th, 5th.
What if they end up playing the Mavericks? Like, they could probably beat the Mavericks without those guys.
Absolutely.
They could probably then beat them, and then they could probably end up beating the Jazz too if they get those guys back. So, you know,
man, yeah. I mean,
I wouldn't pack it up just yet.
Okay, all right, yeah. I mean, it definitely for the Nuggets is more of just if anything red, but if worst comes to worst, a yellow. But you just don't want to move anything on that team.
I'd say just yellow. I'd say only if the perfect opportunity shows up. Yeah, you're right. Red, yellow. That's what I mean. Sorry. Only if the perfect opportunity shows up. Not even a good. It has to be the perfect opportunity.
All right, for sure. All right. So then let's talk about the Lakers, the 7th seed Lakers. Dude, red, yellow, or green.
Out of respect for your time, I'm gonna say green, but there is a myriad of reasons why it's green.
Man, I'm right there with you.
They need to make green. A move.
Yeah.
I think that it's obviously pretty evident. The problem with the Lakers is not necessarily that there are things going wrong. They're not just in the 7th seed because of injuries. There's more to it. But at the same time, they haven't had any freaking continuity. They haven't gotten any time on the court, and it's starting. I'm gonna drop this here now. Clutch Talk exclusive. I haven't told anybody this yet. Okay, I haven't even told you
let's
this.
hear it.
I've been thinking about it though. I'm starting to get scared that this is going towards that Nash, Kobe, Dwight, Powell team.
Yeah,
that team played. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but I think they played somewhere between it was 7 to 11 games, the entire season together. Mm-hmm. Where it might have been single digits. I think it was 7 games that they played with Dwight, Powell, Artest, Nash, and Kobe actually played together. Like that, it was 7 freaking games, roughly.
Yeah.
So they had got no continuity. Came playoffs time, they weren't ready. And that's the thing. I think that the biggest thing for the Lakers is simply health and continuity.
Absolutely.
But we have gotten a couple glimpses into how this Russell Westbrook experiment just didn't work out the way that they had expected, and I think it's fine to admit it. And I'm not I don't think the world's ending because the experiment isn't working, but I do think a move does need to be made, but it would be difficult because they're really tied cap-wise. And really the players that are playing well, they're all on minimum contracts. Melo's balling. Monk is balling. Monk is, by the way, I'll put my bid in here right now. I know Jay Hill would disagree, but Monk deserves a shout for most improved player.
Absolutely. He absolutely needs to be in the candidates of it. Absolutely.
He needs to finish in the top 3 for that.
Absolutely.
But I digress. I'll save it for one day where I'm here with Jay, and that way we could argue it too. But I'm gonna say the Lakers are an absolute green. Trying to make any move. I know they're connected. I mean, I'm gonna talk about rumors. They're gonna be like, oh, they're not getting them. I'm not saying they're getting them, but they're trying to make moves for Jeremy Grant. They're trying to make moves for Gary Trent Jr. They're trying to make moves for Miles Turner. So I like those moves. But it's going to be difficult with the assets that they have to make such moves, and the players that they can move, they are outplaying their contracts. Well, they're outplaying the contracts, so we want to keep them, So all right, sorry, the Lakers. I don't want to say we, even though it's no freaking secret at this point.
It's no secret at this point.
but I do think that can we move Russell Westbrook? That'd be freaking awesome. But I just don't think it's realistic. So not just contract wise, politics wise. He was brought in by LeBron and AD. You can't be like, all right, bro, you out of here. You know what I mean? Yeah. Unless he wants to, and he's an LA native. You know what I mean? Unless he wants to leave and he's like, all right, guys, I realize that this isn't working out. And when that happens on February 30th, 2022, then we'll see. But they're green. Absolutely. There's a lot of moves that need to be made. I have a couple of moves that I think realistically can work, but that will make this pod into a 2-hour pod. So we'll get into that one. But they're green.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. They definitely are green. But my biggest problem and my biggest concern with the Lakers is who are you going to move? And just for the same reason you said, the players who are playing well, they're outplaying their contract. And Russell Westbrook, man, I mean, he was a great player. I mean, he still is a great player, but it's the fit that just does not work out. And the money that he is on, no team is willing to sacrifice the fit that they have, and especially because the last, to be real, 3 to 4 years has been the stereotype of Russell Westbrook has been, he's not a player you can play with. He's not a player you can play with. He's not a player you can play with. And then we saw him do well. We saw him, do well on the Rockets for a bit. And then some people were like, oh, well, no, see, he is the guy you can play with. And he had that terrible 2020 bubble. And then after then, it's just the Russell Westbrook.
Well, and then he had some good patches on the Wizards too.
Yeah,
so
he absolutely.
It's the thing.
It's the fit for any roster, and it's the money.
And there's another thing too that I need everybody to understand. Everybody who's listening, I need you guys to understand. And a lot of people do, but the reason Russell Westbrook was brought in was so LeBron can take some time and not have to play at the MVP level he's playing at now. So he can take some coast because this man is in his 19th season. He's 37 years old, and he needs to be saving his legs for the playoffs. Yeah. Right. So the goal was to have him and AD, Russell Westbrook and AD work together, keep the Lakers in a playoff spot. Come playoff time, we see more and more coming closer to playoffs. We see LeBron ramping up and getting to the levels he's at now. He'd be playing like this or better at the actual playoffs, not, in January, but it's where we are, and it is what it is. You know, I also don't think this Lakers team is doomed. A lot of people think that this Lakers team is doomed.
Absolutely
I don't
not.
think that at all. They just haven't had continuity. They haven't had continuity, and who knows? Maybe they'll get some continuity and really just be ass. Then they'll probably be doomed. But I think that that's still open. You know, I think that's still an open-ended thing. I still think that there's possibility that they'll just get some continuity and actually end up playing well, and then. You know, you avoid that 7th or 8th seed, so you don't play the 1st or 2nd. I will say this, and I know Jay Hill said, tune into the next Sit and Take episode. So here we are, Justin. They're beating. A healthy Lakers team is going to be the Grizzlies, I believe, and the Jazz. A healthy Lakers team, I believe. I'm not like obviously have a little more belief than the average Joe on the Lakers, but I think they avoid the play-in by being the 6th seed. That means that they automatically avoid the 7th or 8th seed. Get healthy, get continuity. I think they're in a good spot. I'm not saying they're going to win the title outright. I mean, I'd love for that to happen. I believe in my team, but I think that you could just get a couple of games over there. Like, man, end up with the 4th seed and you get to play the Mavericks. I'm not hating on the Mavericks. I just gave Luka all his flowers, so I'm not hating. But give me the Mavericks in the playoffs, please.
I mean, if the Lakers could push up to the 4th seed, that'd be crazy.
I think they can. I think they can. It's tough because the Grizzlies are doing so well, but
the Grizzlies. I don't know. I think that top 1 through 4 could be a little decided. It's only going to flip flop. Only going to flip. I think only 1 through 4 is just going to flip flop between each other, because then everyone else, it's like the 1 through 4 is anywhere from 1 games to 3 games away from each other. The 5th seed is 4, 5, 6, almost 5 games away from the 4th seed, and so okay, so all right, man. So yes,
the Lakers. A lot of basketball to be played too. Yeah, aren't even at the All-Star break yet.
Absolutely,
and not even past the trade deadline. So it's 5 games, but this could be like you can make up 5 games in a month easily, and there's 3 or 4 of these months left, so there's still some time.
Absolutely, yeah, man. So for the Lakers, we're both green on that. Just got to figure out what move you can do, man. So then, all right, so let's talk about the other LA team, and that's the LA Clippers. So what is that? Who you got on that? Red, yellow, or green?
I got them as green, not as desperate of a green, because the reason that they're in the 8th seed is because they're missing their best player. But it's kind of, the Lakers aren't missing their best player, but they're missing their second best player.
But the Clippers are missing Kawhi and PG.
Oh, PG is out too.
PG just went out with the elbow injury. So I think
how long is he gonna be out for?
I believe a couple of months. Let me check.
Couple of months, yeah. I was gonna say green, but then what are they even gonna do?
I think honestly, update.
I'd say for the Clippers, I'm putting them as a yellow green. Okay. The reason they are low where they are is because of injuries, not because of lack of talent. But at the same time, I don't think the Clippers roster is competing for a title right now. And I think that when you have a player like Kawhi and Paul George on your team, you should be expecting to be competing for a title every year, right? Those are 2 superstars in the league. You got 2 superstars on your team, you should be competing for a title. So I'm going to say that they are yellow-green. Make some moves, especially now if they can get somebody that can gel with the team, and then you get Kawhi and PG back. And Kawhi might come back this season, by the way. So get in the playoffs, and then you might be looking at the same situation that I just told you with the Nuggets. Imagine let's say PG, I don't know. PG. Well, I want to say, can PG, can the Clippers team with everybody except Kawhi beat the Mavericks?
Yeah,
it's not that easy. See,
it's not like the Nuggets. It's really not that easy, especially because Luka's on the Mavs. And Luka loves
But I'm gonna say this: they get if the Clippers get a favorable matchup, and then let's say Paul George is back, if he's back before playoffs,
he's gonna be out for 3 to 4 weeks, so a month.
Oh, okay, so he'll be back. Okay,
yeah.
So I'd say they're actually closer to agreeing now. Go get somebody that can give Paul George some solid help. I'm not going to be a superstar, obviously, because I don't think it's just going to be possible to get a superstar with the assets that they have available. But go get somebody that can give Paul George some help. Give him some. I'm giving the Clippers way too much game right now. But go get somebody that can give Paul George some help for the first round. And then Kawhi might come back this year. Like I've heard reports. We'll see.
Yeah,
he's real like careful about his rehab. So we'll see. But that's the same thing with the Nuggets. If they stumble upon a second round against a team that they could probably beat, bring Kawhi back.
You do what you do, yeah.
Make a run, especially them because man, these guys got to be tired of losing, bro. They didn't ever won a title. They got to be tired of losing, so they got to make some moves. They got to make some moves. So I gotta say, I say they're yellow green, leaning towards green. Not as desperate as a green as other teams, but.
Yeah. I'm actually on the other side of the fence, and that's the red. I'm actually on the red only because
all the way red.
Yeah, I'm actually all the way red because when you have a player like Paul George and Kawhi on your team, like in my opinion, you're contending for a title. Like you may not be the top contender, but you're in the top 5 teams contending for a title with Paul George and Kawhi. And you're missing now Paul George and Kawhi. I think it's just like that Denver Nuggets season. You just kind of pack it up, call it quits now. Have them get healthy and have them come back for next season. Unless, like how you said, you find yourself in that situation where you're like, maybe I could beat this team if Kawhi comes back or PG if PG will be back by then if Kawhi can return. So I'm on the other side, but definitely if they can do it, yeah, definitely like the Nuggets try to pull that one off. But all right, so then let's get to the 9th seed, and that's the Minnesota Timberwolves. What you got on that?
That's tough because they're a young team. They're a young team, and you really don't want to break that up too much. But I'd say they're yellow. The right move comes along, you make it. Otherwise, you're not desperate to make it because they just keep going this way, and in a couple of years, they'll be up there in the 3rd, 4th seeds. Because all their players will just have grown into themselves. So I'd say they're yellow for me.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. You got to be very, very careful because I really like that core of Cat, of Anthony Edwards, and of D'Lo. And then Malik Beasley definitely been letting me down a little bit this season, but yeah, I could definitely see him just being a great role player in this league. And then you bring Patrick Williams, just a defensive gritty guard, Jared Vanderbilt. I think that they could really be a serious team in this league, but you don't want to blow that up at an early age. So yeah, I'm right there with you with the yellow. And then for the last team in the West, the 10th seed Portland Trailblazers.
Green,
yeah.
Green. I don't know why I hesitated. That's an absolute green. It's the same thing we said with the Wizards, bro. You need to do everything that you can possibly do to keep Damian Lillard, right? And you got to give him something so he can feel comfortable. And dude, I don't remember I can't tell you all their moves off the top of my head this offseason, but they weren't very good.
They weren't very good this offseason.
And remember, there was all these rumors when
they only ended up bringing back Norman Powell. That's all they ended up doing.
They had all these rumors with Damian Lillard when he was on Team USA, and it's like, oh, he's gonna be on Team USA. He's gonna be with some ballers. He's gonna get recruited, and he stayed. But man, they let him down this offseason. That front office let him down. They're gonna do it again. They can't, bro. Like Damian Lillard is the most patient superstar I've freaking seen in my life.
Man.
Him and Bradley Beal, bro. These guys are fucking Zen masters.
Just I don't know how losing.
I don't know how they're so patient. I mean, I guess it's just as different nowadays too. But
yeah, it's just. Our mindset is more of this new age mindset. Maybe they're.
Well, I think we've just become conditioned to that, right? Because I mean, we grew up watching Kobe, Dirk, Tim Duncan, players that stay with one franchise pretty much, their whole career. So like we grew up watching that. We grew up on that. But nowadays it doesn't happen anymore. Ever since the freaking Big Three Celtics, no, I'm just kidding. I'm not saying that they're the ones that started super teams, but we grew up watching players stay on teams when they sucked. Mm-hmm. And nowadays it doesn't happen anymore. So we've become so conditioned to not seeing that anymore that when we see players like Dame and Beal, it's kind of incredible. But yeah, I mean, that being said, the players who leave, like they have a point. Like I know I'm going to catch you for saying this, and I'm not going to make it too long, but I think Anthony Davis had every right to demand a trade out of New Orleans. And I'm not just saying that because he went to the Lakers. That man gave like 7 or 8 years of his career to a team that gave him, to an ownership group that gave him nothing in return. Nothing. Yeah. They never fielded a team that could be competitive around them. They gave him nothing in return. And I think that at that point, he's like, bro, like, I've been here for 7 years doing this. You didn't give, they didn't give him anything. He has every right to leave at that point. And I think Damian Lillard and Bradley Beal are in that same boat. Like, they've been on that team. They've been on their respective team for years. And if the team is not going to, like, they've given them chance after chance after chance after chance. If the team is not going to field a good team around them, should they be, forced to keep stay their whole careers there? No. That being said, I also don't think you should be re-upping contracts if you plan to leave. That's a whole other story. Like, I'm not a contracts don't matter guy, but I also don't like players signing contracts and then walking out. I think that's lame. Like, I think part of that responsibility is like, bro, if you just re-upped your contract, don't be asking for a trade. You shouldn't have re-upped that contract then. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's like I said, they've been given their all to their teams, and the teams haven't given their all back to them. So maybe it's time to leave.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I'm green for the Blazers.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. They definitely, the Blazers definitely need to do some to not only get Dame some help, but just get that team some help, man. I've been saying for some time, I've been a big fan of CJ McCollum for Ben Simmons, because not only does that suffice the Sixers problem more than enough, it's a great player to match with Joel Embiid, and then that's also satisfies the Blazers' defensive problems. It also satisfies their 4-man problem, and now they're able to pair a player like Dame with Ben Simmons, to where on defense, Dame doesn't have to give as much, and Ben Simmons can kind of hide him on defense. I think that'd be great, man. So yeah, I'm right there with you. Get Dame some help, and Portland is green, man. But all right then. So
move Dame. I'm not even saying I'm not even saying move him to, like, I'm not even saying that, like, or move them. Yeah. Like, I think if you're not gonna get players around them, then you at least owe it to them to move them. You know what I mean? Because I think Damian Lillard is a fantastic freaking player, and I think that he shouldn't be wasted in his career on a team that's not built to win.
Absolutely.
So I think it's make moves for him or move him, but I think where they're at now is not where they should be.
All right, for sure. All right then. Well, Jenna, I think this is a good place for us to go ahead and wrap it up here, man. I think this was a great episode, man. I mean, we talked about all number 1 through 10 seeds in the West and the East. Talk about if they should make some moves. We talked about some games. We had our up or down report. We had your All-Star segment, man. So I mean, this was a great episode. I want to thank you again, man. I know it was a last short-term notice, but you were able to come on, and me and all the fans, Jay Hill, we appreciate you coming on, Jenner. But of course, you got any last words you want to say here before we log off?
It's my pleasure, man. I love coming on. I love talking about hoop. You can see, like, I was every answer I gave you like 1,000 reasons. I just enjoy talking about hoop. So for me, always fun. I appreciate you having me on.
Yes, sir, man. So as always, you guys don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on our Instagram, our Twitter, and our TikTok. It'll be right here and in the description down below. For all my podcast people, man, it's at Clutch Talk Pod. Again, that's at Clutch Talk Pod. Make sure you follow us, man. We got a lot of interactive polls, a lot of NBA updates on there, episode updates. So make sure you get at us on there, man. But if that's it, then, man, we out of here, y'all. Clutch Talk out.
Peace.